Wolverhampton Wanderers 2, West Ham United 3 tonight at Molineux, folks. Dave from Talking Walls, giving my thoughts on tonight's defeat. Disappointing, really. Obviously, to lose the game, especially, I don't know, with the whole circumstances and so on. I felt like we could have and probably should have got something out of the game. But I'm going to be giving my thoughts on tonight's match. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Be sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel because we're not too far away from 9,000 subscribers now. But starting lineup today, obviously, we've had some news prior to the match, which we'll talk about throughout the video. But Rui Patricio started in goal. We actually went back to the 4-2-3-1 today. So the back four was Ryan Ait-Nouri, Romain Saiz, Connor Cody, and right back Nelson Semedo. Neves and Dendoncker in the middle of the park. Attacking midfield three of Pedence, Neto, and Traore, and Willian Jose up front. Of course, Willy Bolly testing positive for coronavirus this morning. Johnny over the weekend, unfortunately, has done his ACL again, so we may not see him until at the very, very earliest the start of next season, but his injury may go into this next season. And João Moutinho, who of course picked up a knock on the international duty. But it was abysmal the first sort of half an hour, 35 minutes or so. I'm not a clue what the defending was. The frustrating thing with the 4-2-3-1 is that we tend to have the front foot for a lot of the game, and that we started off fairly brightly. A great ball zipped across the box, I think, by Pedence to Willian Jose, who on a turn shoots, gets a shot away, and you're thinking, here we go, with another creative force behind Jose, maybe we can get the ball to him a little bit more and see that a bit more from him, but probably wasn't really the case. But Jesse Lingard, who's been in phenomenal form since obviously joining West Ham in January, made our defence, especially in that first half, look Sunday league level. The first goal, for me, you can pinpoint the blame on so many players. For me, it's... I don't know what Connor Cody's doing. Obviously, he's tracking Antonio, but just running across his own box and then leaving this big gap for Saiz to get into. Again, that's probably because, you're not too used or you're not, experienced in this back four system. You've really got to pass that, and you've got to pass Antonio on to... Saiz, and Cody deals with Lingard then, but he's just run through and then shot across goal and obviously into the back of the net. That was disappointing, really poor defending from us. A second goal as well, in the end, obviously turned out to be a fairly simple finish for them. Semedo, maybe being a little bit harsh, probably should have done better on the turn right by the corner flag where Lingard gets away from his man and then sort of ball into Masuaku, who plays it across the edge of the area. But just every piece of defending today, even for the third goal as well, Lingard surrounded by five men and just allowed to sort of waltz into the area and play in. I think it was Bowen who got the third goal in the end. Just every piece of defending today in that first half was abysmal. And you guys know that I've been fairly forgiving and tend to pick out the positives out of that. But even I got really angry about, some of the way that we were defending today. The 4-2-3-1 or the four at the back system is going to create us more chances. And we saw that by the stats today. The amount of shots we had was phenomenal and way better than what we've been getting in previous games and previous weeks. But you're always going to have this leaky defence. And if we had proper centre-backs and possibly a proper box-to-box midfielder, someone that could get the ball and run up and down that pitch all the time for you, I think, we could have a seriously nice team next season. And, I think it's definitely worth looking at in the summer, addressing those issues of the defensive issues. Bolly seems, obviously this is out of his control, the whole sort of COVID thing. But, having these, big centre-halves in there, proper defenders who know a back four system, and you could be laughing, really. Fortunately, we got that goal right before half-time, puts in good stead at least to try and get something out of the game going into half-time. It's a great goal, really. Leander Dendoncker with a header, but what a run by Adama Traore. Finally getting that overdue goal assist and goal contribution, well overdue. Running from his own, more or less the own edge of the area up to the opposite side of the pitch with a phenomenal ball in, and Dendoncker, that's what you want him to be doing as a sort of roaming midfielder. You want him to be in the box and want him to be putting those chances away, because earlier in the season he was getting those chances and he wasn't scoring those. So for him to score that header was vital, really. And going into the second half, you knew West Ham weren't going to be sort of as intense as they were in that first half. Going into the second half, it was as really to try and frustrate West Ham a lot. And ideally, you needed a goal as early as possible. In the end, it came in the 65th minute or roundabout then. Fabio Silva coming off the bench for Podence. Obviously, with Podence returning from injury, they're doing sort of a similar thing to what they did with Johnny, just trying to ease him back into the squad due to lack of match fitness and sharpness. But great ball by Neto over the top to Silva, and Fabio Silva wonderfully taken goal, and that's what you're expecting to see off him now when he's getting these clear-cut opportunities when he's through on goal. Still had a little bit to do because it was at an angle, but this is what you're expecting him to do and finish off these opportunities. So fantastic to see that. Fantastic to see him get on the score sheet. But overall, you know, we were knocking on the door. Didn't really have any other golden opportunities to take in that game. But I don't know what it was. You know, West Ham had that little bit more possibly Premier League experience. The likes of Mark Noble, the likes of Jesse Lingard, just frustrating our lads at times. You know, winning fouls at other times. You know, we won plenty of fouls to be fair, but they were quite sneaky in the way they did it. And, you know, they had that little bit of experience to see out the game, whereas us as a club don't really have that. I'm not saying you need that to be successful, but I think if you know, genuinely the skeleton of that four at the back system can work, and it depends as a fan what you want to see. If you want to see us grind out very low scoring games at times, which they haven't really been this season even with the five at the back, but if you tend to want to see that, that's the system. But you have to accept, if we're going to go with this four at the back, we'll score more goals, but you're going to see more defensive displays like that. And it's almost, I think at the moment, whilst we don't have the players that suit the system, it's almost, we've got to make sure we score more than the other team. And today it wasn't that. But every goal was avoidable. Every goal was avoidable. Dreadful defending for all three goals, I'd say. Poor for the sort of the tracking of Lingard for the first goal and the third goal and the fourth goal and the second goal. Sorry, we shouldn't have let them into the area or anywhere close to that. We were just, there was no fight, no passion. Even the Antonio before he got subbed off was just easily. It wasn't as if he was winning 50-50s. You know, the players just were almost scared to tackle him. But in terms of, you know, individual performances, it's hard to pick out positives, especially when you lose a game. You know, it was good to see Vitinha come on, obviously. For Aït-Nouri had plenty of the ball. My thing with Ryan Aït-Nouri is that he's almost got, I'm going to call it vinagreitis. He likes to always do like a trick or a pull back before crossing the ball. Just get the ball into the area, just whip it in, cause some problems, put it at an awkward height, because we saw that a couple of times. You know, the one time he got the ball into the area, I think he clipped the outside of the post as well. So we need to see that a little bit more, getting the ball into the area, causing West Ham some problems. But overall, you know, with our running now, you know, that game was always sort of the one that stuck out a little bit, because West Ham are that team sort of up there at the moment, knocking on the door, and fair play to them, you know. They've almost reversed with us, because they were sort of in limbo whether they were going to be in a relegation battle. But this season they're knocking on the door for the top four, which we were at this point of last season. So fair play to them. But now the next 5 games are crucial. 5 games against teams sort of in the bottom 6, bottom 7. We've got to take advantage of those. A win against Fulham on Friday, that's a huge step for us not even to talk about the relegation word. I don't even want to see it in the comments section. But frustrating night of football, but definitely more negatives than positives, but there were some decent positives to take out of the game, and it's a loss, so you can never be happy with a loss, full stop. But be sure to hit the like button down below, guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're new. Loads of good content coming out over the next couple of weeks or so, so be sure to hit the subscribe button, and I'll let you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend. Hopefully you enjoy your rest of the week. Hopefully you enjoyed your Easter weekend, and I'll see you all very, very soon.